Okay, we're just recording because there were some people who couldn't join us from our little group. So we're just going to post it into a little YouTube link. It's going to be like one that people can't search. So we're just here to have a little bit of a roundtable discussion just about what we're doing with our like everyday life and how we're doing our schedules and just a little bit more about us. So we've been kind of getting to know a little bit about people, and I am excited to hear what you have to say. So if you have a little thing to add into some of the questions, just pipe up or wave your hands. I'm opening our chat to yeah. Okay, I'll be out in a little bit, okay? Okay, I'll come back on here. Yay! Mom. So we're going to have all kinds of interruptions. We're going to have things. And if you have lots of things going on in the background, feel free to mute yourself, but feel free to unmute yourself and kind of join the conversation. So I'd love to hear a little bit about you and what are 3 things that you do every day. So is there somebody who can start us off and tell us the 3 things that even now you're doing every day? Because it's so crazy, right? Like this isn't normal life. This is kind of weird. So Lindsay, do you have 3 things that you're doing every day?
Yeah, every day I, of course, I put my oils on immediately, especially my frankincense, because I'm not living life without that crap right now. And then I can't wear skirts, or I can't wear any of my jeans anymore because I've gained so much weight. So I'm in skirts now, and so I've decided that I'm gonna run. So for the past 3 mornings, I've been exercising, and I'm so sore. But and my Bible studies.
You're not.
God's completely running my life right now, even with breakdowns today.
Yeah. Angelica, do you have 3 things that you're doing every day right now?
Yeah, so I've usually been starting, I just got my starter kit like last week. Thank you, Kendra. So I've been starting the diffuser in the mornings, which has been kind of nice. I've been putting some lemon in there, so it's been a fresh new smell every morning. But and then the second thing, I've just been, kind of reading a lot in the morning and getting my day started that way. And then third is making coffee. Making coffee every morning because I've been getting earlier since we switched to online teaching. I was enjoying sleeping in, but now it's like a normal work day. So
I hear you for sure. What are your 3 things that you're doing every day?
McGinn said, "Hi, people."
Hello. There you are.
You buzzed out. Were you talking to me?
Yeah. Do you have 3 things that you do every day?
Yes. We have been trying to make breakfast every day because when you have littles at home all day long, that is a high and lofty goal. So I try to like cereal or something easy just like once a week, and then we've been trying to do like oatmeal or waffles or something every morning to just get in our groove and have some time together at the table. We've been doing Ningxia every morning together. My toddler and I both take it, and we have been having outside time every single day that the weather has allowed the past few weeks, because with children, right? Outside time is just necessary. So
every mom is saving grace right now.
Yes.
Ears are little still.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Hey, Robin, why don't you tell us a little bit about your everyday things? Are you there?
Can she hear you?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm real glitchy for some reason. So, so definitely the coffee. We didn't have any electricity this morning, so that was kind of fun. putting oils on every morning, and then outside, definitely, because I have babysitting kids still. And so, yeah, as soon as it's warm enough, we go outside to play. So.
Okay, so you have to tell me your water trick. You were telling me about this earlier.
Yeah, so I make like just tea. I have a big cup, and I put a tea bag in there, and I put a drop of thieves, and then 2 drops of lemon, and then a little bit of stevia, and hot water, and let it sit for a little bit, and that's pretty much what I drink all day long.
The immune booster to the rescue, starting in the morning, right? I love that. I love that. So I need to know, I was just posting a meme, and it's probably gotten the most traction on any of my social media, is I posted a meme that you're either a 10 a.m. or an early morning person or a late person, or no, what was it? 10 p.m. is so late and I just need to go to sleep, or it's only 10 p.m. kind of people, and that they marry each other. So I think we have like our late night people and our early morning people. So I want to know what your favorite time of day is. So Judy, what's your favorite time of day?
I think in the evening.
Are you a night person?
I can be, yes. Get the working and lose track of time, yes.
So do you like to do your crafting at night, or do you like to just rest from your crafting at night?
No, we sit down and watch TV, but I don't ever sit idly. I am always crocheting or knitting and get a lot accomplished that way. Sometimes I go in my craft room and just do beading or quilting or whatever.
Right. Right. What about you,
cool.
April? What's your favorite time of day?
Early morning person.
You are a morning person?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is good because I have a 6-year-old who thinks 6 o'clock is still the time to wake up right now. So.
Oh, bless you. That is so hard, isn't it? So what do you do to keep yourself busy in the mornings besides your 6-year-old?
Well, I work. I'm working from home, and so I have to be up early anyway. So it's just good that I'm okay with that.
Right.
But yeah. So she watches videos and does school because we're doing school at home, and my boys are a little older, so they can kind of do it on their own, and so they do it as they get up. So.
Man, I love that. I love that. I am such a night person. Night is like my jam. And part of it was that for so long they couldn't figure out kind of why I was the healthiest sick person any of the doctors had ever seen before. And so as we started our oil journey for different things, like my kiddos were super, super sick as well. And we were trying to figure out all of their food allergies and whatever. And so I had struggled so much with my energy, and I had struggled, and my mom had for years and years. So I figured it was just like a thing, like that was going to be the way that I was going to be for the rest of my life. So come 8 p.m., I felt awesome because I finally felt like I had energy like normal people. And one of my friends on our oil team was like, that's not like a thing, right? Like, that's not common, and that people like wake up ready to go for the day. And I'm like, what do you mean people wake up ready to go for the day? Like, they're not hitting the snooze button 4 times. And so I was able to figure out a few ways of adjusting my diet and making sure that my vitamin levels were right, and to do some supplements like the Thyramine, and to pull out my nutmeg and make sure that my adrenal system was so great. And it had gotten to the point where my husband's now the one who's hitting the snooze in the morning. And as soon as it goes off, I'm like annoyed because I'm like, it's off, like we're up, let's go. And it feels so weird to me. But I was talking with some girlfriends last night, and they were like, yeah, I'm a worrier. And I'm like, I was too, until that landed me in counseling and wrecked my adrenal system. So I think we don't realize the factors that kind of go into the day part of kind of what feels good. And if you're getting into that routine, I mean, obviously kids are helping you to like they're going to be your daily alarm or whatever, but there's so much that we can do. Like if there's a time of day that you're really struggling. And I think that that's been different for me. We're going to talk about what time of day do you struggle with the most. And when I was homeschooling, that was 10 a.m. because it was reading time, and my kids knew if they sat really still and quiet that was the time that I would nod off. So if they did it, they could get like 30 minutes of playtime where they didn't actually have to do school. But I think that hard time of day, that slumpy time of day really changes. So Mary Jo, do you have a slumpy time of day?
Usually in the afternoon about 3 or 4. So, and because it's between mealtime, so that's usually my low time. But I'm a late person, early person. I'm weird. I don't go to bed till 12 and I get up by 6 or 7 every day. So I always have been that way. So I just get ready and go. So I don't know why. But
So what's your favorite go-to when you have that slumpy time in the afternoon?
I every afternoon between 3:30 and 4 I have Ningxia. One little packet of it and I'm ready till dinner.
It's amazing what they can fit into all of that with all
So
of
it gives yeah, it really helps. So, and it's Bill wanted to know what's in that stuff because he sees me. I said, "There's no caffeine. Don't worry about that." So it's really good, and it tastes good too. So I pretend I'm having a little Kool-Aid or something. So, but I even bought a little measuring cup, just the right size for it, so I can have that. So, but that's my little cup. But I really love it.
So, Jana, tell me a little bit about what time of day you struggle the most with.
Probably a combo of the 10 a.m. and 3, except usually I try and work out when the kids nap, which is between like 2 and 4. So I usually end up trying to spend about 30 minutes talking myself into actually going to work out. And then I feel better. So it's like a daily.
Right? And we've been trying to teach our kids that so much because, you know, I subscribe so much to that, like, that movie where it talks about how like exercising creates endorphins, and endorphins make you happy, and happy people don't kill each other. You know, like it's totally funny, but like it goes off in my head all the time. And especially with our 2 teenagers, we are exercising every day, and they have to move their bodies for 30 minutes just because they need those like natural endorphins. And man, I've been struggling so badly because my chiropractor isn't working right now. So like Panaway and my Ortho Ease have been like so nice on my shoulder. So I've been kind of
I take Agilise every night. So
tell me when you knew that you needed to start taking your Agilise. Like tell me about that.
When I couldn't walk up the stairs. No, I actually
do, right?
Yeah, so Pete actually has taken it since he started building the house because he was worried, like his knees hurt so bad after the first day of like major construction. He was worried like, well, how am I going to be able to do this? And so he finally was willing to try it. And after that, he takes it pretty much daily, and I'll know if he forgets. Because like, or if I've forgotten to order, if he didn't tell me we're out for some reason and I didn't notice, he'll be like, yeah. But for me, it was when I started working out. Like, you know, I'd always been active, but not like a workout program. And I started Beachbody on demand, and I did those things, and I was like, they're trying to kill me. Like the first day, I literally could not walk up or down the stairs.
They are, it's true.
The struggle is real. Now, Janet, you wanted to share a little bit with us about a couple of times that are really hard too. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing during your school time and what you're doing at bedtime.
So school time right now has been peace and calming. I'm actually in my school room, and I still have my diffuser going over here. I'll show you guys. Literally, this bad boy sits on my desk, and this is what we run. And if we do school in the living room, it has been peace and calming lately. Actually, I've been mixing peace and calming and valor these last couple of weeks when life is just a little bit crazy, because we all need a little courage right now.
Right.
But amen, we need some peace and calming.
Good combo too.
Man, and for all of you who haven't been with Young Living for very long or aren't yet, like, those two used to not come in the starter kit. So we used to have to like add those babies in. And so when they started putting those in the starter kit, it has been a game changer for my kids and their big emotions. So I love that. So what's your go-to for bedtime?
Go-to for bedtime. So I actually do Valor on my kiddos' wrists to help if they're, sometimes they have bad dreams, that kind of thing. Every night for as long as I've been using oils, I also do a Thieves immunity roller that I roll on their feet. But what I think has been a game changer is I have 3 favorites. So for bedtime, everybody talks about lavender and cedarwood. Well, it was Kendra who said she was a stewer at night, would like think of everything that happened during the day. So she recommended Release. My daughter used to yell in her sleep. She would yell at cattle, she would yell at dogs, she would yell at her brothers, she would yell at her toys, like in her sleep. She would just, everything that happened that day would just be pent up. And so I put these 3 in a roller and a diffuser balm, because I'm not taking any chances. So that is our routine every night, and the kids know. They ask for their oils. We do oils and prayer time. We get their teeth brushed. We sit down. And that has really helped. And especially now, I know when life is crazy, I don't have a routine during the day as much, but especially for kiddos and even for adults, having a nighttime routine can be a game changer.
Where do you put the Release? Like, especially like, because I use that every night too, because I'm kind of like not a restless sleeper, but my dreams are stupid.
Well, and with these 3, what I do is I have a roller. And so I put all 3 of them into a roller. You can see it's a well-loved roller. And I roll this on their backs, because I put the immunity roller on their feet. So that is what I do with them. And then I have the diffuser balm, which also has Release, cedarwood, and lavender in it. And then that goes in their diffuser.
Yeah. And I put my Release and like on the arch of my foot, because that's like where your fear foot thingy is. And then I'll put it on my heart. But I just was curious to see what you did. Cool.
Well, and you might also try Valor. That helped a lot with my kids and their just, even their strange dreams. Like, they would come down and want to tell me at 2 a.m., which is probably why at 10 o'clock I want to take a nap, but at 2 a.m. about their dreams.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Well, I know for me that lavender does not put me to sleep. And it's so funny how everybody is so different. And so I just love people getting into trying a few things and trying what works for them. And I remember giving my lavender and my diffuser to a friend to borrow. And she called me the next day and she goes, my husband and I were sitting on the couch about 7 p.m. and we were both falling asleep, and we're like night owl people and we couldn't figure out what was going on. But what I realized was I love the smell of lavender so much that I had been diffusing it. And so it was there and we were like, we could not keep ourselves awake. And I just laughed because I could drown myself in that whole bottle and it's not going to put me to sleep. And I don't love the smell of it. But when my kids have stings, or if I get too much sun because I don't have the beautiful tan skin that my husband does, lavender is our first go-to for those things like that. So I love having it on hand, but man, that cedarwood and that Release are huge, huge, huge. My friend calls the cedarwood oil the sleep like a teenager oil, because no one wants to sleep like a baby, right?
It helps with snoring too.
Snoring.
And yeah, I use it every night around my bed because spiders love me. They get me at night. And so we heard about that if you spray your sheets around where you sleep, it'll keep spiders away. I haven't had a spider bite in 8 months since I did that.
That's incredible.
It's amazing. So even when I go work out in the garden, I spray my feet, I spray my head, because insects love me. I don't know why. And it keeps them away.
What are you spraying? What are you?
I put lavender and water in a spray bottle, just tap water, and just spray myself. And I've been amazed about the spiders, especially. So Bill heard about it first, and he came and said, "You got to hear this," and it's worked. I don't have problems with it anymore. So it's one of those weird country things, I guess. I don't know.
That's a good to know.
Yeah.
I like to spray my doorways down with peppermint, because peppermint is the one to use for that.
I like peppermint.
You Mary Jo, you and I were talking about making our days smoother, and you were talking about what you were doing since it's allergy season.
Yes.
With your friends.
Yeah. Peppermint is years ago in one of my other lives, I've done all kinds of jobs, and one of them was I was a respiratory tech, and I worked under an old country doctor named Dr. Petticord, and he didn't really believe in a lot of medicines. He prescribed a lot of different things to do with peppermint. And last summer, when the dust was blowing really bad and my little granddaughter and I both, we would wheeze. And also I started diffusing peppermint when she was over at the house and with me too. And it just clears your alveoli so clear. It helps shrink them. That's what Dr. Petticord told us. And I put a few drops in water. I used this one for the water, the Vitality for water. And it really helps to clear out all that yuck in your throat that you get, like today. Good grief, the dust was awful, and on Sunday too. And it's weird. I can just breathe to feel it. Also, I'm getting to do school too with grandkids on Wednesdays and Fridays, and they think when they come to my house it's playtime. Well, they're having to do school, so I've been diffusing peppermint also for that, and Valor too, because it helps my grandson who's 7, because he's kind of freaked out with the Zoom calls every day. And the day I forgot, you could tell a difference that he was not doing as well without those two together. So, but when I diffuse those, when he's in our teaching room, he can focus and do a lot better. Of course, I let him go out and run.
That running,
I can tell when he starts to get antsy, because he needs to be out. Yeah.
Right.
Especially out here. This was not a place to go to school at grandma's house. He has to, so.
Well, if I could get stranded on a desert island with only 5 oils, peppermint would definitely be one, because it does so much. And I know that we talk about using oils during the day in our diffusers, because there are parts of our brain that can only be accessed through our olfactory system, through our sense of smell. So we're really doing a good job to get to those parts of the brain and engage them, and to make sure that they're getting the support that they need. But you can also use it topically, like peppermint's another one that I pull out when I get a sunburn, which usually happens about this time of year, because I feel like I can stay out as long as I do in August, and it's just not the case. So I can use it topically when I need something cooled down, or when I'm working out or whatever. But I can also ingest it, like you said, because it's so good for your digestive system. And it probably has made the biggest impact in that and the DiGize with my kids and their food allergies. I mean, we were on the standing weekly doctor appointment cycle, where as soon as somebody got something, we knew everybody was going to get it. And that's just the crazy cycle that we had to be on. And to find those things that I could go to with my kiddos and with me, that we could help support our bodies before we even had to get there. I mean, I've had doctors call me and be like, "Are you sure you're okay? We haven't seen your kids in so long," So I just love that we have the opportunities to do that we can put the peppermint in our warm tea when we want it, or we can put it in our cold ice water, and just making sure that we're drinking some good fluids to make sure that that's kind of going through our system at the rate that we need it to. Robin, you were telling me that you really love peppermint. So tell me how you use it. Oh, hold on. Let me unmute you. Oh, where did you go? There you are.
There I am. So I just drop a little drop on my wrist, and then I lick it, and I kind of put my tongue in the roof of my mouth, and it works on your sinuses to start with. But then for some reason, it just kind of like tells your body, like it signals your body, like I'm good. I'm done eating. I don't need that dessert that my mind was saying that I needed. And I think they drop it on their wrist so that you don't get too much, because if you just drop it on your tongue, who knows how much you're gonna get. Yeah.
Sure. You can do that one time.
We all need that, because we all need a hobby besides baking, clearly, as the Smiths have found out this week. Because it's easy. Yeah. Peppermint's another good one that I love to put in our diffuser when we're in the car, because if we're going somewhere, we're going somewhere for hours, right? Because Roswell High, we're like 3 hours from anywhere. So that is a good one to waking up or going with. I think Jana was saying that she used it in her school diffuser, or somebody was telling me that they like to do that in the mornings in their diffusers to kind of get going. So it's so fun how like versatile they are and how they kind of do so much to support all of the different things. So I would love to know, does anybody have a quick like non-oily tip for something that they're doing to make sure that their days are going smoother?
Pray.
Everybody's doing great.
So one thing that I did is I started a journal, and I really did it more for my kids because I have a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And so my 10-year-old knows what's going on, but obviously the younger kids don't really get it. So I started the journal, I want to say it was probably like the end of March. And just every couple of days I write in it, and it's just kind of helped I think process all of the craziness that is going on. So that's kind of helped a little bit.
For sure. You can do a lot of like therapy and a lot of kind of getting it out of your brain too, which I totally love. That's an awesome one.
Yeah, I found for me, it's mostly just having a routine and putting effort into being a real person during quarantine.
Not just mom.
Like I mean, I tend to be pretty put together usually, but there's like been days where I'm like not even getting dressed, and I was like, okay, we just need to be a real person again and put on a hat and have your hair cute or whatever it is. I feel like it's just so easy to get super apathetic when we're like nowhere to go and nothing to do. So that's helped me a lot, is just having routine, and that helps keep the crazies away a little bit.
Too. I mean, I know that there are people who are like, no, I just need the freedom, and my kids need the routine of it. And I was just thinking of you the other day, remembering when my oldest two were the ages of your little babies. And you did a post, and I was like, that's so funny, because I used to have like, they have all these big emotions because they can't tell you like, I'm tired. Or I just had a friend post about how her 3-year-old got put in timeout and fell asleep. And I'm like, totally me. Like, I totally get unruly when I need a nap too. So it's fine. Like, let her sleep. But even my older kids now were really struggling to see how all of their emotions were working, and they couldn't figure out like why there was so much strife. So we actually had a family meeting at lunch the other day, and I'm like, you are frustrated because you don't feel like you're getting enough people. You are frustrated because you're feeling like you don't have enough time by yourself. You are doing this, like, you're not communicating your needs with us, so we don't know what you actually need, and then you're getting frustrated that we're not reading your mind. And they were like all around the board, they were like, oh, that's really what it is. But like most people don't sit there and go like, I need some time by myself. So I just need to schedule that on a calendar. So we really set it out to where the older kids spent 3 90-minute blocks during the week with the younger kids, one-on-one. And the younger kids get to do whatever is going to make them happy. And because they do that, my older kids get 1 hour uninterrupted before they have to go to bed, that they can be on their phones or watching whatever they want within our guidelines, and that they kind of have that detox time by themselves. And now Elliot has the words to sit there and go, I'm really frustrated because I can't think of something to do by myself. And that's slowly kind of gone away because he's like, oh, I know that I can count on that time with Jonathan later on. Or because the older kids are pouring into me, y'all, he did 2 days this week where he just pulled out a game and played with Gianna, my youngest. It was beautiful. Like, that never would have happened if we hadn't like taken the time to download and be like, what's going on? And I totally thought of you in that, Mary Jo, because you were like, seriously, Thursdays, I just need to drive in a Dr. Pepper.
I did it again today, 3 weeks in a row. On Thursday, for some reason, I've got to get out of here. And I have to recharge. I'm an introvert, so I need to get away from even Bill, because he's here all the time. And I felt like I was reverting back to my teenage years, and I cruised the drag up and down just to see what was happening. Today was so quiet, it was freaky. But I got my Dr. Pepper and I cruised the drag. It was great. And then I come home and I'm all happy. Bill said, you're going to do that again next Thursday because this is great.
Well, in my stories, or I'm going to, either one, something that's like, if you have 5 minutes, here's something that you can do for you. And if you have 15 minutes, here's something that you can do for you. And here, if you have an hour, are a few things, because I feel like, April, I don't know if you feel like it, but you're like, I have 10 minutes and I legit don't know what to do with my life. Like, I don't even know where to start. And I'm like stress paralyzed because like, I never have 5 minutes. This is so weird. And by the time that you like figure out what you're going to do, it's gone. Right. So
it's not right.
We just have to have like those go-to things that are kind of like breathing life into us, whether it's, okay, I'm just going to sit down for 10 minutes and sit here with my Bible while the kids play. Or I was telling all of my public school friends who are now home learning moms, I'm like, the homeschool moms aren't telling you that they hide chocolate in the bathroom. They're not.
There's a laundry room in the dryer sheet box.
There you go.
Yeah, I've done that.
So since we're talking a little bit about things that we're doing to make quarantine better, why don't you tell me, you said consistency, but you were telling me a few of those earlier.
Yes, my supplements and my sanity have been coinciding with one another. So we start with Ningxia in the morning, and then I've been very diligent with my supplements. I am super big on Super B. It's been my other energy helper, and I super notice it when I don't take it. So I've been very diligent about that. And then adding my immunity boosting supplements has been super helpful. The Super C we've been taking, and the Inner Defense every day because of the times, friends. So anything we're doing for immunity support, getting outside, supplement. And then Jana touched on it a little bit with her kids and stuff, but I've been using emotional support oils for myself every day because that helps me make it through tantrums and not being able to leave the house and all the things. So I've been doing Release every morning and then Inner Child every morning. That's been one. I was reading about it recently and how it helps with trauma and how sometimes we begin to process things in a broken way because we were broken as little kids and we don't filter things properly and well. And so crisis can kind of bring that on. So I've been using Inner Child every single day in the diffuser and on my body. And then citrus oils have been my go-to happy helper.
Yeah.
For mom. So we've been doing lemon and citrus fresh and tangerine and bergamot and all the fun citrus oils because they are such great mood boosters. So we've been doing the diffuser a lot and just on a lot. So those have been my routines to help me be okay.
I'm sure you're doing those in your diffusers, because if you're out in the sunshine, you and I both know that you just don't want to put that anywhere that the sun's going to get ahead, because those citrus oils can be really photosensitive. So if you know that you're going to be out and you want that grapefruit or that bergamot or that lemon, make sure you're doing it on a place that's either not going to see the sun or that you're doing it the night before. And I really loved what you said about just the consistency of it. And I think it's worth noting that the biggest difference between oils and medication is to sit there and say, okay, I have something that I need to take a medicine for that my body's not going to do itself. So I am going to take that just as I need it, versus our oils. They're so much better when we're using them consistently. And that doesn't mean that if you start using an oil that you have to use it the rest of your life forever and ever, amen. But if we're going through seasons, our body does so much better to make sure that we're giving it what it needs over and over again. And we've seen that so much with DiGize, and I know Lindsay has too with her DiGize, of being able to help your body naturally do what it's supposed to do and to encourage your body to work the way that it's supposed to work. So if you're using that DiGize on a daily basis, you're going to see so many better benefits from it. And I think the easiest thing that I've done is to make sure that my oils are out and they're in the places that I need them to use, which might mean that there's lavender in the laundry room and out by the oil shelf and back here in our bedroom. But so it's like okay to kind of build up to where like it's not being irresponsible to have more than one, because we know that our bodies need that for different things, and we can put them out where we can see them and remind ourselves, oh, I need to make sure that when I'm taking my supplements, I'm putting the ones out for the next day, because I don't have littles that are going to come in and snatch them or whatever. But if they're in the same place, then I'm not spending 10 minutes rooting around for where I left my Super Bee at, or I can go to those same places all the time and make sure that I'm being super consistent with that. So those are awesome. A few things that I've been doing to save my sanity during quarantine is using my thieves cleaner for everything, because not only is it helping to support our immune systems, but they've done a lot of research about the chemicals that we're using in our house and how much they bother your respiratory system and how much they aggravate. Mary Jo, I know that you have been talking about that with Bill, that it really bothered Bill's respiratory system to be using the cleaners and stuff like that. And the air quality in our homes can actually be worse inside than they are even outside with the pollutants outside, if we're constantly running candles that are burning off different chemicals that are coming into contact with our systems and disrupting how our bodies are supposed to work, or if we're using a lot of cleaners that have ingredients in them that are going to be lead to massive side effects in our bodies too. So it's been
even talking about the things that you have on your clothes too. You know, like McGinn, he's insistent that we get dryer sheets again. So I told him no, that he had to build a dry rack. So he built one and we hung it in the laundry room. So I don't have to do his laundry anymore because I refuse to hang all his clothes. But I mean, there's no more static, but he's not getting the junk from the dryer sheets anymore, you know? So yeah, even all that stuff that you just have on you all day long.
Totally, how you're soaking it in. It's been really nice because I haven't had to worry about what's in stock at the grocery store, because I know that I have plenty in here, and Young Living's done such a great job of making sure that they're keeping up with the demand that's increased because of everything. So it's been so nice to make sure to have that on hand. The other thing, it seems so weird. so many of my favorite recipes like need like fresh herbs, and I have just not been at a place that I can like grow those at home, and it's so hard to find them in the store. And I'm notorious for like doing our big shopping every other week or whatever, and so it's gonna get put off to use them until they go bad or whatever. And I've just been worried about being able to find them. And so I've been pulling my lemon off the shelf. I know, Judy, we were talking about how you just got oregano. I love to stick a little toothpick in there so that I don't drop 6 drops into the spaghetti sauce, but I like to swirl that around in there. Or I have this amazing chicken recipe from Against All Grains blog or their cookbook that requires rosemary and thyme and sage. And so instead of being worried about making sure that I'm having all of those on hand or running out of cumin when I'm going to make chili, because of course, like, it gets put back and I think that I'm going to remember and then don't, I can just pull those off the shelf, and it's saving me like a trip to the grocery store. So that's been a huge blessing to us. I know that sometimes it can be so overwhelming with like where to get information, and those of us who have like shared our stories here a little bit tonight didn't just learn all of these things all at once, but we have a really incredible team that resources us and tells us a lot of great places to get information that we can trust to make sure that we're using oils safely. And I know sometimes it can be overwhelming with like, how and where do I start? And so a few tips that I have for that is try to figure out the things that you're wanting support for. So if you're feeling like sleep is something that you're gonna need help with, or big emotions this time of year, or like, what can I do to start getting rid of some of the stuff that has toxic chemicals in my house, but I don't even know where to start? Like, reach out to the person who has been helping you with your oils, and like have a conversation, because I know that they felt just as overwhelmed because I've talked to all of you here. Like, I know that we've all felt that overwhelmed feeling, and we've all been that person who's asked 1,000,001 questions, and we're not scared of questions here. Like, we're able to look it up. Part of the reason we're starting here is just to like start this habit, but we have it planned to where we're going to be coming in every Monday night with a specific topic. So specifically on sleep, or specifically on hormones or big emotions, or all of those kinds of things. So tune in for those if you have specific questions. But I was just talking to somebody the other day who's like, oh, I need like these 3 oils. And I'm like, well, by the time you get those 3 oils in a diffuser, you're almost to the starter kit. And I know the starter kit can sometimes be overwhelming, but when it comes with 13 oils and it's over half off, I'm going to tell you, I've been doing oils for years now. And even now when I want a diffuser, a lot of times I'll order another starter kit, especially if I'm starting to run low on a few of those oils, because it makes it such a good investment. I mean, that's how I really got my Aria, is to sit there and say, if you're going to buy a nice Aria diffuser, you're going to spend just a few more dollars to actually get all the 13 oils that go along with it. So that's a real treat. And they've really upgraded a lot of the diffusers, like the Arias, that will run a lot longer than the one I got. So that's a good one to snag. But a lot of the oils that we talked about tonight, the lemon, the lavender, the peppermint, the peace and calming, the valor, the Digest, the thieves, the Panaway, all of those really come as a good kit to kind of get you started. And I was the biggest oil skeptic, I'm going to tell you. Like, I just was. I looked at my granola sisters and I was like, you and your like, I'll get 3 oils and I'll never use them. And I never stopped using them. And so I was like, okay, if I can use these in my laundry, and if I can use them on us, and if I can use them in my water, like, clearly I'm going to use them for everything. And that's how I've really felt about the starter kit. Even those oils like the Raven that I wasn't really sure I needed, I was absolutely glad that I had on hand when we needed some extra respiratory support and some stuff like that. So I know those starter kits can get you started in a way that creates enough of how do I do this, but when you get it, you don't have to like know how to use them all at once. And there's some really great, like, I would have never thought to use Valor at night with my kiddos. So that's my like morning go-to jam. And they just came out with a new deodorant that has it in it, and I'm like obsessed. And so I just love that we have this community to kind of come together with and to like share ideas of how we're doing things. So I want to know though, like you can't, outside of the starter kit oils, I want to know what was the first thing that you ordered? Or if you didn't get a starter kit, you can tell me one of the first oils you started with. That's totally great. So Robin, what was your first oil outside of the starter kit?
I think it was the RC. Is RC in the kit, or is
Raven is in the kit, but RC is not.
it was the RC? Because I wanted that, and then that Snuffles for kids.
Oh yeah.
So because we were just coming into the colds and everything, and so I just really wanted all of that to help with my babysitting kids. Basically, they love it on their feet, and they'll be like, "Do it here, do it here."
They're the cutest. Jana, what was your? Oh, you're muted.
My first one outside the kit was Gentle Baby.
Yeah.
Because at the time when I got my kit, TJ was like 2 months old. Oh.
So crazy. That is such a good one. And the name of it, I think, is really misleading because it's a great one. Somebody was just talking to me about having a lot of anxiety in pregnancy, and I was like, grab Gentle Baby because you're going to want it afterwards. But so many of the oils in it are so great for our emotions. And I know my kids love that. Occasionally we'll put that into the rotation in their diffuser at night too. It's got such great calming oils in it. So that's a good one. What about you, Mary Jo?
I think the first one I bought outside was Humility, and it was because we did, what is that little test that you have? The little, what's that called? I haven't done it in a long time. The little machine, what do you call it?
The iTobi cleaner?
Yeah, and it said that was the #1 oil I needed. I love it. So I didn't like it at first. I didn't like how it smelled. I didn't like anything about it, but I've since learned that usually if you don't really like it, that means you really, really need it. So, but now I love it. So, but that was the very first one. So bless you.
And you made some peppermint.
Linz, what was yours?
Oh my gosh. I was straight up trying to cheat and look because I can't even remember. I was that one that I wanted to just buy all of the oils at once, like all of them. And I think probably my first orders were really big, and I still don't talk about them with McGean because I would get in trouble. I'm trying to really remember like what.
I think Release was up there.
Yeah, I think it was definitely probably one of the #1s. Yeah, it probably. And that one I use constantly. It's an all day, every day thing. So I didn't use it all that much today, and you could really kind of tell, just because I finally had enough of everybody at the end of the day, and I'm just like, forget you people. And even McGean came in and he's like, babe, I think that you just need to be by yourself for a little while. I think so. Mary Jo, I'll drive next to you on Thursday.
All right. Yeah. I blast my music really loud too.
Right. Dude, I'll bump it with you.
April, do you have an oil that you love?
Do what?
April, are you there?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. I really do love the Valor, and the Stress Away is really good for me. Um, so, and I haven't actually had to buy any oil myself yet, besides the starter kit, because my mom has been so great and given me so many oils. But I did buy some of the makeup, and I really like it. So.
Oh, the makeup is a game changer. And because of that, like I've been able to switch over a lot of our budgets because hello, I have a teenage daughter. So a lot of what we're doing for that is actually getting us the place that we're getting our oils for free with. So that's been huge for us. We just tried the new mascaras.
It's really good.
Everything that they said that they are.
How is the volumizing one? Because mom got the original mascara and she's like, I don't like it because it clumps. I mean, I like it because I don't know. But does it clump?
I'm going to go show it to you here in just a second while Emma tells us what she got outside of the starter kit.
Yeah. Outside the starter kit, I think my first ones were all the emotional support oils. I think Release was a big one for me too. I know Lindsay was mentioning I'm like a big stewer and a big, I feel all the things and internalize all the things from everybody around me. So Release was a really huge one that was up there. And then I started the makeup as well because I didn't want to sell it unless I believed in it. So I wear the makeup now the most I've ever had in my life because I wanted to make sure I was legit about selling it. So I wear makeup now because I wanted to make sure I loved it. So I think the makeup was the next thing I switched after some emotional support oils.
And I know that you had a lot of struggle with your skin. So it speaks a lot to the makeup that your skin looks as amazing as it does.
Yes.
It looks so beautiful.
I'm in love with it. So
Judy,
good.
tell me what oil you just can't live without. Judy.
Said my name, it kind of cut out. It's okay. Well, I'm sort of ashamed to say it, but because I use Immunity, but I got it as a gift from somebody, and I really like it. And I don't know, does Young Living have Immunity?
There's one that is called ImmuPro. That is one of my favorite oils that I have on repeat these days. So from what you were telling me, it sounds really close to that ImmuPro.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the one we like the best. You know, like, and I usually use some of the Young Living peppermint and different things like that too in my diffuser at times. And lavender.
Some of us switched over from other oil companies too, so there's no shame in this game.
Well, that was before I really knew about Young Living very much, and so I kind of done it a little bit.
You know,
but they're still good.
On the train with
they're still good.
All the supplements. Like getting the Thyramine immediately and the Pro Plus, those were some that I started almost right off the bat and absolutely love. But like the Inner Defense is some of those things that, like, because I had a massive cold sore outbreak where it like covered my whole mouth, and I got the Inner Defense, and I take that every single night. And so a lot of those vitamins that just the Super B, the Power Dyes, like those are just ones that hands down, if I have to order something, that's gonna be it.
We'll make sure to cover some of those in the ones coming up. Okay, you need to see, this is my brush from the original mascara. And
yeah,
I didn't hate this mascara. I liked it. It's definitely a cleaner version, and I think that it's a great one. This, Naomi, my teenager, uses the lash lengthening one because her lashes are super short, but they're also blonde like mine. And I didn't think she was quite ready for the volumizing one.
That brush is so different. So, and it's not going to be as clumpy then.
Yeah, you can see the difference of how the clumps and stuff are gonna be just from like what the brush is gonna look like. And my lashes are amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna get one. Again, don't tell me again.
It goes into my order. Nathan knows how much my budget is, so I just work it in. So, hey, I just want to thank you guys all for joining us today. And I just love getting to know all of you. And like Judy, I didn't know that you just lived down the road and that we've had so many ways that our paths have crossed here in Roswell. And I know that if you, like, these are some of my favorite people in real life. So if you're friends with them, that you must be super cool. So thank you for working through our kinks and being on this inaugural thing. And we'll hope to see your faces on some of ours coming up soon. So you guys have a good night.
Good night.
All right, bye.